I'm in South Florida.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Happy to be here. Everybody looks so beautiful.
I know, I said the same thing. It was just the colors there's something with the screen today. It's beautiful.
Okay, we are live, Liz. We're live.
Right.
Welcome everyone in the live stream and seeing this in the future. This is our Women Empowerment Synergy meeting gone into the SINE waves. And I'm going to pass it over to Elisabeth Williams. I call her Liz, but Elisabeth Williams, who is the founder of All Partners, which is the page we are going live out from. So there you go. Let's start.
Fantastic. Thank you. Let's begin this beautiful, beautiful gathering. So yes, we meet monthly, the women of SINE, in this global women's synergy group. And we've been doing this for about 1.5 years now. We typically don't go out to go live very broadly, but we wanted to today. And I'm thrilled to share this rainbow of women with you. They just look so beautiful, and they are beautiful. So what I want to share with you is that we are within this group that's here today. There is a council of women that have been gathering for the past 6 to 8 months, I would say. We came together initially because we wanted to discuss how to bring healing to the world, and in particular to women and children around the globe. And that's where we began. As we explored further together, we realized that what really needed to happen on the planet was a rebalancing of the feminine and masculine energies. And so we wanted to focus our efforts there and discover how we might play a part in that. We then started to explore further and realized that there are some bigger questions that we wanted to address, things that are happening on the planet that are really bringing up a lot for us and for others. And we wanted a place where we could explore those deeper and those bigger questions together, and then share out what we're learning from that. So that was in our intent when we thought we were coming together today to kind of present the council and share. But what happened when we were together last week for our typical monthly gathering was there seemed to be a real sense of overwhelm. And it's not surprising. Many of us are feeling that, and it's understandable. But we wanted to explore together what that means and how we navigate that, because we're not meant to curl up in a ball. I mean, we can at times and cry, and that's okay, but we can't stay there, because we're meant to be, what was revealed to us in our gathering was we're meant to be towers of light. But how do we do that? How do we do that when we're feeling so overwhelmed and when things are coming at us so quickly? And so that's what we want to discuss today with the women from the council, as well as the greater community, the SINE women's community. So we're going to open that discussion in just a moment, but to lead us in, I stumbled upon something from the grandmothers that is entitled, "You are a beacon of light, so shine, beacon, shine." And so I would just ask if you're comfortable and would like to close your eyes for just a short meditation as we lead into this before we open up our discussion. Let your chest expand. Let it expand right along with your heart, the grandmothers said. And I watched them as they took in a deep breath. Let yourself fill with light. Fill with the light of possibility, the light of things as yet unseen. Go ahead and do it, they urged. Great good is coming to earth soon, they explained. And when it comes, it will need a place to dwell. Why not in you? They asked. Let it dwell in you. We understand these times that you are living in today, they said. We know that in the last few years, you've grown accustomed to living with disappointments, with fear and stress. But, they said, drawing out the word, it is not your nature to suffer and contract your energy. It is not your nature to live squeezed into some dark corner. Nor is it your fate, they said. You were born to carry light, to carry a vast amount of light. You are a light bearer. And the time is coming when you will be called upon to really shine, the grandmothers said. So start practicing now. Begin to regard yourself as you truly are, the grandmothers said. As the great being of light that you are. Don't look at yourself the way the world sees you, not as the limited person you have been told you are, but instead see yourself as unlimited potentiality. This is the truth of your being. You are unlimited. You are one with light, one with love. This is who you are, they said, and soon you will come to recognize your identity and see yourself this way. So why not start today? See this higher, brighter view of yourself. The dark times on earth are beginning to clear away, they said. Yes, they declared when they saw the surprised look on my face. Soon greed and cruelty will be replaced by loving kindness. The change is coming, the grandmothers pronounced, leveling me with their eyes. Look for it, expect it, and each time you catch a glimpse of it, welcome it. Make it a practice to share love with each other. Expect the best for one another and expect the best from one another. Open your heart so you can both give and receive. This is how to light the pathway to goodness on earth. Each of you has a part to play in lighting this pathway, and the time to do it is now. You can help make a home place for goodness. You are a beacon of light, so shine, beacon, shine, they commanded. The presence of love lives within you. Let your actions speak of that and don't hold back. Step forward now and start giving. Love and serve, serve and love. Be brave, the grandmothers said. Each day step into action and perform a generous act. Go out of your way for others. Greet them from your heart. Care for them. Love them. Let love grow roots inside you. Let it radiate out from you. Fertilize that love. Express it. Live it. You, the grandmothers said, are our hands. You are our voices and hearts here on earth. So speak the truth, but in a kindly way. Do good and allow yourself to be the love in action that you are. It's time for you to take a step forward now and offer something beautiful to life. Do this each day, the grandmothers said, laughing joyously. We remind you, they said, that your hands are our hands, your love is our love. So we will be right there with you, speaking and acting through you. Aho. So, my sisters, I would love to invite you to share what that brought up for you and how you see yourself as a tower of light and what you believe needs to shine right now. And please feel free to unmute and share when you feel called. Summer pointed out that there are 13 of us in the room today. A magnificent feminine goddess number. I know this is not a quiet group, so don't hold back.
I'll share.
Thank you, Cecilia.
So Forbes and Mika Brzezinski have recently done a 50 over 50 women who are making a difference in the world. And I had a few people nominate me. I nominated a few people. But it was only till I read this quote by Michelle Obama that I actually allowed myself to sink into being okay with it. And as I feel the silence among all of us, our trepidation of jumping in and saying, like, I hear that, I hear what you just read, and I'm like, oh, yes, that's so true. We should be the light. We have to be the light. That's our job. We're supposed to be the light. But to talk about ourselves, it's like, don't get too full of yourself, is what I hear. And my mom's voice, don't be too full of yourself. My sister, what do you mean? Who are you? That kind of thing. Anyway, I read this beautiful quote by Michelle Obama, and she says, there's power in allowing yourself to be known and heard, in owning your unique story, in using your authentic voice. And I really had to take that in. I do my work because it's my service work. It is what I've been called to do here on the planet. But to talk about it, or to see myself as others see me, and not go into that old story of, who do you think you are, is really, it's such a challenge. It's such a challenge. That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, Cecilia. And, it is so true that for many of us, that is the way we were raised. For me, it was my grandma saying, Elisabeth is getting too big for her britches. And we in many ways have been told to not shine too brightly. And I think what's happening now is we recognize that the world desperately needs us to shine brightly, each and every one of us. And in fact, we have a responsibility to do so. Naomi, do you want to share something? She's waving, she's got something.
Yeah, it's interesting because mine was the opposite in growing up, because I started into serious ballet training by the time I was 4. And so and then got into choir and singing and piano. And so I was all this outward, be that bigness, be that and shine. And I was encouraged to shine. And then when I became an adult woman, that's when it shifted. That's when it shifted into, as I stepped away from being in the entertainment arts, and I started into the healing arts, and I had children, and it was, I was building a personal, treatment room. And my father actually said to me, do you think anybody will come? Wow. And I was single, and so, I just wish, you can do anything you want, but put your mind to, but just wish someone would come along and take care of you and these kids. My God. So it shifted. It was different for me. And so, but it hasn't stopped me, but it did dampen down. We were told, don't hide your light under a bushel basket. And it was, and I think for all of us as women, or men and women too, but mainly women, we are this amazing light that is under that bushel basket, and it's like, you're just seeing it glowing out like something off of Roswell, that it is just, and it's just burning away. at the wicker fibers and saying it's time to shine. So, and it's just, it's an exciting time to be a woman and to be in a sisterhood. So thanks for letting me share about how it was different. It was the opposite for me. So good morning, Catherine. Good morning, everyone. So thank you.
Thank you, Niobe. And I love that you said that. And I think what's so interesting to me is it didn't matter that growing up, you heard one message. When that message flipped, it had an impact on you. I mean, it definitely hit you. Yeah. Yeah. Katrin.
Thank you, Niobe. I experienced a little bit the same. When I grew up, nobody told me to be silent or not to shine. No, my parents were very supportive. But the shift came for me, and I don't know what program was switched on the minute I became a mother. Things changed, and juggling everything, family, kids, job, just put me off track personally. And it took me a long while to get back on track and find myself and find my own light. And yes, I agree, we need to shine brightly. And I try to do that every day.
Katrin, do you think it was the overwhelm of parenting, or the feeling of, I know when as a parent, you sometimes feel like you never know if you're doing the right thing. I mean, what do you think? Do you any idea what shifted for you when you became a mother?
I worked a lot with that. As many of you know, I'm an energetic healer, and I think part of that is a global program for women, which is switched on the minute they become mothers, and their focus shifts to kids and family. And at least here, I don't know how it is in the US, but probably not so much different. And we ourselves are very critical with ourselves, and we want to do everything right. And although we know we cannot get everything right for everybody and the family and the job, we still try, and we get lost on that way. Maybe that's the point.
I remember feeling I had left the corporate world and then entrepreneurship to when I became a mother and decided to step out of the work world. And I do remember very clearly feeling as if I were invisible. And literally, I can remember that one time specifically, I was having dinner. So I was with another couple, my husband, myself, and another couple. That woman worked outside of the home. And they literally went around and were telling each other what they were doing. And no one asked me. It was as if what I was doing, which wasn't just mothering, not that that wouldn't be enough, but of course, we do thousands of things in the community and everything else. I mean, literally, including the woman, no one asked, what are you up to? And I just clearly remember thinking, I'm invisible. What I'm doing is not, valued. Now, it was by my husband. I know that, and always has been. But I hear what you're saying, and I think that is a really, really significant thing that we need to be aware of. That we, as mothers, as life givers, and as life nurturers, that is such a critical role on this planet, probably more so than now than ever. So, I hear you, sister.
Yeah, profound sharing. Thank you all so much. It's an honor to be here with all of you. I'm just feeling that and feeling the many waves we women experience through our lives and coming into our power and our presence and our grace. Whew. And that invisible that invisibility is quite profound for us, because women are constantly doing these seemingly invisible acts, right? So like if we spend the first half an hour, you know, I have two sons, and we just tidy up, you know, that tidy up job, you know, that nobody seems to ever recognize, that you spend an hour tidying up. I mean, that is a completely invisible job, isn't it? And also it's like, I just tidied up for 45 minutes, you know, like, does anybody see that, you know? And we women are the great, I mean, everywhere, and whatever we're doing, we're the great tidy uppers on the planet, you know? And I have such a deep respect and reverence for what women do in their silent corners. And there was a turning point when my children were like 6 or 7, around this age. So my children are 4 years apart. And I used to become so exhausted around that 6 o'clock time, you know, and I would think, oh my gosh, I'm just going to sleep with the kids now, because I can't do what's my life like now. And I realized that after some time, I realized that it was my own inner child that was suffering, that she also needed my attention. And my mothering was being so extended to my children that I had forgotten to mother myself. And when I really began to pay attention to her, my energy started to rise, you know. So I literally had a discipline where at 6 o'clock, I would sit on the couch and I would breathe, and I would put my focus on her. And I would tell her what a good job she was doing, and how grateful I was for giving me this power to mother my children and play with them. I mean, the hours I spent playing with my boys, you know, from Playmobil to Lego to Duplo to, you know, all of it. And that shifted a paradigm for me. And I feel like that is a very real place where at that time, as I was maturing in myself and in my motherhood, my light truly began to shine. And that tower we're talking about, I began to actually feel the pride in myself of being a mother, and the level of mothering I was doing for them and myself. And that would increase my light. And actually, in the end, it gave me the courage to start the Sacred Female Rising Institute in Germany as a healer and a shaman, where I thought that maybe no one would come, because there's not like the market in Germany like there is in California, where I partially grew up. And did I find out I was wrong, you know? And it was such a joy to be wrong, because our German sisters are as connected and interested. It's just not seen in the general public. So if I were to reinforce this great inner child work as we mother our children or our grandchildren or our partners, sometimes, hopefully not too much, but you know, enough to feel our tower of light. We are so towering, sisters, within. Now, hey.
Beautiful, sister. Thank you. And I love what you've opened up here, that to be that tower of light, it begins with self-love. And again, not something that we as women were taught was important. We were taught to put everyone and everything else first. And if there's anything left, then maybe you can do something for yourself. And that's shifting. That is definitely shifting slowly. And we're recognizing that we do need to take care of ourselves. That self-care and self-love and soul care is critical to our being able to show up and shine our light brightly. Would anyone else like to share? Summer.
Oh, I think you just muted yourself. You said my name, but you're welcome to keep unmuted with your tower of light over there, Liz. I'm still just like feeling the poetic prayer from the grandmothers that you shared, and something that really is like distilled, that really stands out to me, is that we are the grandmother's hands. That really like is profound to me, and I feel that it is part of the how to be a tower of light. So much of what I have been personally up to in light of some of the most difficult things to really see and understand in the world right now, specifically like just so much of the polarizations and all of the hate and racism that's so present in this past year, of really seeing where marginalized communities are hurting the most, and all of that. Like, as I've been processing that, I realized that so much of processing that and wanting to be a part of the change has been caring for and like shining light deeper within myself, and shining light deeper with my ancestors and the roots of my home. And I just want to acknowledge that just recently, I mean, we're so interwoven here, okay? Just recently, I was a part of something called G-Fest, Goddess Rising Fest, and Mira Michelle and like an amazing group of women had all these different workshops, but I just did Mira Michelle's workshop, and there is like, and you can access all of this. It's just like this weekend of all of these different, Liz was there, she came, and there were some different people. Michaela Sophia, she's a SINE member as well, and she's one of the women that brought it forward online. But I'm just really struck, Mira, by your work and the connection that you bridge to the grandmothers. And I don't know if any of you have really witnessed Mira Michelle in her way that she connects to the grandmothers. And there was a part of her workshop where there was this invitation, if you don't mind me bringing up, of literally inviting like the medicine woman and the lineage of that for my, like, and brought it from the heart and bringing it into my hand, like welcoming her in, welcoming her forward. And so I just, it was a very, very profound experience for me, to say the least. And so I'm grateful to like express that into this space where I feel your presence so deeply here. And but yeah, I'm just really struck by the grandmothers, and even like stretching the awareness of grandmothers like in body, but also like the grandmothers in the stars, and the sense of how we are like the grandmothers in the trees, and like I just feel like there's been this kind of expansion of what is grandmothers as well, in this sort of deeper dive into anti-racism work and decolonizing, and that there's just been this like unfolding of such a deeper awareness of spirit. And so yeah, like I just want to like acknowledge all of your grandmothers and their work, their presence with all of you, and however this lands. But I just like how they can support us all to be more of that tower of light. But I just feel I feel them, their hands like on our backs right now. you know, their laughter, their like, I think that even was in there, that the grandmothers, there's sort of this lightness, you know. So I bring that forward from my lineage through my hands to all of you. Thank you. Continue to be those towers of light. Towers of light, a forest of towers of light. We need each other. Thank you.
Ooh, powerful, sister. Are you sisters feeling that? What Heather just brought into the room? I have goosebumps. Blessings. Ooh. I would like to springboard off of that, because just when you were talking, and you, Liz, what you shared there, I'm getting a little bit emotional. And grandmothers are so important for us. And I remember this experience I had with the 13 spirit grandmothers that Sharon Meckerlane channels. Amazing woman. And I was invited to go there in 2010, actually, to do a workshop, beautiful Laguna Beach. And we got into these small groups. There was about 100 women there, and we got into these small groups. And I was doing a presentation on how we are clearing witch burning sites in Europe and over Germany and in England, and so on and so forth. And I got into the group, and there was a grandmother there, and she was, it so touches me to think about her. I just thought about her earlier today, actually, just out of the blue. She was 85. And she said to me, you know, I came here because of your workshop, because I wanted to meet the woman with enough courage to deal with this theme. And I wanted to be here to hear about what you're going to talk about. I was so blown away by her. And one of the topics that we went into mirrors what some of you women have shared, and that's the invisibility of older women after we go into menopause, you know. And I remember my mother visiting me in LA when I was being an actress in LA for 6 years. And she goes, you know, I love you so much, my darling, but I hate coming here to this Los Angeles. I feel so invisible. It's so painful to feel invisible. And we just cried together. And I said, you're such a beautiful, beautiful woman. She goes, I know. She goes, but no one makes eye contact with me. No one looks at me, you know. And I said, oh, I don't know what that feels like yet, because I was a young woman. And this is why I was feeling like the crone ceremony, the coming into honoring the menopause, honoring the woman that no longer gives her blood and that exchanges her blood for her wisdom. So the blood is representative of the life force, the life-giving force. And she no longer gives her blood, and she receives her wisdom. And I feel like this is one of the most important ceremonies right now. We have the maiden ceremony, the first blood ceremony, which I feel like every woman needs. And if you don't have it, you still can have it, because I've had women of all ages on the circle getting their first blood. We have the birth ceremony, and we have the crone ceremony. And we need so deeply, and I cannot emphasize this enough, that we women who no longer give their blood, and I'm one of them, to have their empowerment wisdom ceremonies. As these ceremonies are core ceremonies that have been actualized for thousands of years. They are in our lineages. They are part of our memory in our cells. So if you haven't had your crone ceremony and you're no longer giving your blood, find someone that will run that ceremony for you and your sisters. And it will, talking about the Tower of Light, after the women have the ceremony, you know, and in the ceremony, they have an opportunity to fully take their clothes off at one point in the ceremony and step into the inner circle. And most of the women are like, I'm not doing that, you know. That when they get in there, all their clothes are off all of a sudden, you know, and they're standing under the stars like, yes, I am. And all the women are just, of all ages, are just, celebrating and falling on the earth in such deep gratitude to see this crone rise. So we need women to walk with their wisdom now more than ever. So I fully support you. Grandmothers rising. Liz started us off. Blessings. Thank you.
I'll speak from the point of view of a crone and a grandmother rising. Ladies. So I just have to say that I'm a woman more balanced to my masculine. And I don't look at myself as a woman. I've never been treated as a woman. I've been acknowledged as a human. And I've walked my path as a human. And I don't look at men as men. I look at them as fellow humans who actually have a tougher row to hoe than we do. I have a great empathy for the male heart that I think is actually very, very sensitive and is wounded by our child rearing practices and expectations. So I see that male heart and they cry when I talk to them about it because they're like, oh my God, someone sees me, who I am. So we're dealing with the armored heart of the male, in my opinion. And this whole patriarchy thing is systemic. And so I won't go into that. I'll go into my personal journey. And that is that I feel, for one thing, we're all on a journey to wholeness and self-love. And that we bring in experiences to show us those parts of ourselves we don't love yet. Like Cecilia is saying, hey, you know, I'm not good enough to step out because society has told me that. Well, to me, it's Cecilia's journey to wholeness, to come to that self-love, to know her divinity. And we're all on that journey to align with our divinity and our gift. And the grandmother's story that you spoke, Liz, was expressed it so perfectly and so beautifully with that call to wholeness. But we need to know our journey, that this is our journey. We came here to do this journey. What you came here to do is to love all those aspects of ourselves and align with our divinity and our purpose. And come on, let's go be that beacon of light that they're pulling us forward. But it's a job. It's a huge job. So I just want to give you that gift. And we have a course, an online course on the subject called The Dance of Souls. And but meanwhile, for me, when I was about 18, because I have a very big personality. Okay. So my brother told me, you're just like dad, and it makes it on a man and it doesn't on a woman. So I didn't take that personally as a woman, being put down as a woman. I just got it that I had a big personality that I had to deal with. And so I became Melissa Milquetoast, and I tried to subjugate those aspects of my personality. I say Melissa Milquetoast, okay? And it doesn't work. We cannot deny the gift we came to this party to bring. And so I went through a process with my ex-husband. I married. I brought in the relationship that I needed that beat up on that part of myself I didn't love, not physically, but emotionally. And I realized until I came to love that part of myself, I was going to keep repeating that relationship. So I had to come to that love. Before I left my husband, I had to come to self-love, to love that part of myself, because I just bring it in again and again. So I did that work, and Nellie bar the door for when the world is ready for what I've got to bring. So meanwhile, I brought in a man who loves that part of me. He loves that huge part of me. He nurtures it. He writes the book so that I can have the platform to become all I came here to be. So that's just a part of my story that I thought it could be a teaching part, because we're all bringing our gifts through our stories. And then at one point I was told that my energy was better off in an auditorium of 500 people, right? So I have to be careful when I enter a room, and when I am who I am, I have to, keep it down so I don't overwhelm situations and stuff. So I just say I've spent my life, my adult life, making myself more palatable for others, but it doesn't have anything to do with me being a woman. It has to do with my sensitivity to people around me, to life, anyway, I'll stop there. Thank you. And I just have to say that my mothering of 3 kids catapulted me into my service for humanity, because I wasn't going to put my kids into a system that was going to eat them alive. So my job was to keep them alive, and we swooped and darted through the educational system, and it gave me the purpose to rest my gift to humanity on. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Connie. And I just want to know what you're doing to find those auditoriums where you should be speaking, because that's what I hear needs to happen. So, and I know you've got your platform.
Well, we're here. I'm just waiting for the consciousness to be ready for it. And so Summer has, Summer has honored me, and you, Liz, in what I have to bring. So it's just a matter of when it's time, and trusting, truly rely upon spirit timing, So if it never happens, whatever it happens, doesn't matter. It's all good.
It is. We had the joy, I think, Summer and I interviewed you and Andrew during the Up Convergence in the Divine Feminine Convergence room, I believe, and it was magnificent. So.
And I just got an email from Humanities team right now that's saying, do you want to do something? So that's pretty big, because
yes.
Humanities team, I've been laying the groundwork. See, we've been doing this for decades, and we know everybody, and we've been on the radio shows, and we've been on this, and we've been doing that, and we know everybody, and it's all one big happy family. So it's just a matter of when it's time. So thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
Connie.
that's exciting.
We'll see what that's all about.
And I just have to say, like, I want to just reflect back, especially because your incredible work working with the universe. I was just in the middle of typing it, but I would rather say it, that what I hear you saying is it's still not time for you. And what I want to reflect back to you that I hear from the universe, especially with what you just said, is the time is now for you. And the stage is here. It's now. And it has been. Your voice is instrumental.
Gonna rise.
Yeah, Humanities team is a massive platform that called out for you. So yeah.
I didn't read the email thoroughly because
right,
I'm present here.
It is now.
And Rita has been a huge supporter. Let me tell you, everybody here. Rita listens to her guides, and she acts on what she hears, and she networks, and she's just bringing so much beauty and light to the table.
Rita, do you have time to speak? I know you have to leave. I think you just said you have to leave, but do you have time to speak before you go? Or no? No? Okay.
I left a message in chat for you all.
Yeah, you
Thanks so much. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for your presence and for being here with us, Rita. It's always beautiful to see you.
Love to all. Okay.
Love to see you. Whew. Astrid or Tammy or Brenda, would you like to share it all? Yes.
Yes, I'm from Germany. My name is Astrid Freier, and both Nordic names. I'm a very nearby sister to Catherine Lambert. And to describe my life, it is from the darkness to the light, to the heart light. I call it heart light, Herzlicht in German. And that is my navigation, my light. I always feel driving my car, doing some decision, either in a profession, in business or private. It is in contact with my womb and with my heart, my brain, and it brings me to my highest potential. And to share this, I'm here to let you feel a woman's life story. It was very, very heavy in my life. I think in the collective and in the several life stories, we find some traumatic experiences and some wounds and some self-justice, is it the name? Self-destroy habits and thoughts. And I am so glad that the healing to my parents, my grandparents, physically in my life, and as me as a mother for 3 children, I lost the contact through illness, and the light in myself is separate. It's as a mother, as as a financial fulfilled woman, the financial fulfillment in correspondence with my heart, the needs of the society of the world. That is what I'm good inside, my talents, my potential, and the financial answer. It's an answer. And so I'm a lighthouse for many women, families, to save women for the poorness in the when they are old. Many women and people getting social problems, also financial, and that is I thought a lot of this, and planning some structures, either in Verein, also Karin, was bedeutet Verein? Community, non-profit community grounding, yes, and also in the reality life. And 2 days, either tomorrow, the day before tomorrow, there is a full moon, and I'm an initiated moon mother by Miranda Gray. Now I developed my own technology, and this what Mira told, the celebration I will fulfill with Catherine on full moon, the next full moon, and I'm very glad for this. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you for sharing, Astrid.
Sorry, my English is not so good.
Beautiful.
You did great, sister, and congratulations. Blessings. Woo-hoo-hoo.
I just wanted to share that we have a word in German that says poverty in old age is female. And that needs some healing.
Yes.
As well.
Systematically.
Mm-hmm. We create what we think.
Yeah, we change it, we transform this in the rich, the fulfillment is female. It's a way. It's a way. It's work and way. It needs some time.
I just feel called, Astrid, if there's any part of what you just said or any part of what you're speaking in English that you want to be spoken in your origin language, to please speak it into the space.
Du meinst, dass ich das in Deutsch spreche? I should speak in German? In my language? In my mother language? Okay. Also, mein Name ist Astrid Freier und ich weiß, wie es sich anfühlt, für eine Frau in der Dunkelheit zu sein. Kein Leuchtturm. Voller Schuldgefühle, Ängste, Stress, in Zwist, Verzweiflung auch mit den Eltern. Und es ist so wunderschön, dass ich das erleben darf, noch als junge Frau, jenseits der Menopause, aber ich bezeichne mich als eine junge Frau. Und dass ich das erleben kann, so in Frieden zu sein. Und diese Frieden und Verwurzelung, ein großer Teil kam durch eine Initiation als Moonmother, Mondmutter. Ich nenne mich auch in Deutsch Mondmutter. Und habe auch über die Klärung des Schoßraumes, energetische Arbeit, eine Kraft entwickelt, ein Licht in mir, was nun ausstrahlt. Und ich setze mich sehr dafür ein, dass diese Altersarmut bei Frauen, wie die Katrin eben meinte, dass die Armut der Frauen weltweit weiblich ist, dass sich die transformiert in einen Reichtum, der in Kontakt ist mit den Talenten, mit dem, was die Welt braucht, mit dem, was ich gut kann, mit dem, was ich liebe, wo mein Herz jubelt, wo Menschen bereit sind, meine Arbeit wertzuschätzen oder es ist einfach in Fluss. Das ist so etwas Wunderschönes, das vorzuleben als Lighthouse, als Leuchtturm. Und zudem bin ich Mitgründerin eines Vereines, der heißt Herzfrau. Und der ist sehr gemeinnützig und wird diese wunderbaren Botschaften auch medial mit einem TV-Magazin in die Welt tragen. Vielen, vielen Dank. Samachoy.
I have tears. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joy, for requesting that. It's very moving in this space, very moving. I really feel like you gave voice to millions of women across our planet that do live in poverty after a certain age. And it is, I used to be an executive English coach when I first moved to Germany. And the editor of Stern magazine for politics and economics said to me, Herr Hofner, wonderful man, he said, a lot of the managers here, they grow up at the table eating, with their parents who are managers, and they hear the discussions and they hear the words and they energetically can connect to the words and to the work that their parents are so naturally doing, that pass it on to their children. And he goes, I grew up in a working class family. My father was a plumber. My mother was, I can't remember what he said his mother was at that time. And he goes, so I really had to work hard and enable myself the permission, the allowedness to move into this manager position when I see that others can do it so effortlessly. And I think this is not only through thought, this is through an energy, this is a resonance. This is also part of the program, right? And coming over that hurdle to allow, to give permission is a really big deal. And I really do feel that we need the sister circles. We need the resonance in the circles to help train each other into this sort of permission, because it doesn't come naturally. And I know from my African American side, so my father's African American and Native, and my mother's British, English Irish. And I know from some of my family members that lived in South Central or lived in certain parts of society, where are they going to get that? Where are they going to get the motivation to think and feel that way, to come into that work, especially women? That's not easily come by. You know, you don't get that by watching Netflix, obviously. Some amazing souls do, right? But I so respect that. What you're, there come one of the grandmothers. They're usually showing up when it's getting real. And it's so vital that we feel it, because feeling is the first massive step into manifestation. And we all know that when we're energy workers. So thank you, all of us, for holding this container.
Cecilia, please.
Astrid, I was so grateful to hear your native tongue. My stepmother is German, and she's living in Germany now, and she's suffering Alzheimer's. And a few years ago, in talking to her on the phone, I realized that was happening. And she bought me my first guitar when I was just a teenager, early teenager, and she had never heard me in concert. So I did some fundraising, and I went to France, Menton, France. I called the local mayor, and I was able to put together a concert for her. And now she's moved back to Germany, and she's really deep into the disease. And I wrote a song called She Reads Between the Lines, and I'm hoping to sing it for this Forbes nomination. And I just recorded it, and I would love to sing it for you ladies. I have to leave at 2:30, so hold on, let me grab my guitar.
All right.
Oh, all right.
We knew we needed some music or some dance.
Now we're talking.
This is it. Bring it on. Woo.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Here we
Hard
go.
to sing sitting down, but I'll try.
Okay.
I have to tell you, I sang it. We did a family Zoom for her the other day, and even though she's not all that present, she started to just sob and sob.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, music has that healing power. This is called She Reads Between the Lines. She sits, hold on, let me get it right. Sitting down at the mirror to put on her makeup. She reflects for a moment, and slowly she smiles. But there on her face is a life full of memories. Staring back at her, written by time. The deep one was from the birth of her baby. When pain and joy and love became one, the brow line was formed in the blizzard of 80. She watched, she waited, she willed him home. 'Cause lifelines and lifelines wretched in her face, caught by the hands of time, through fire and grace. The way she lived her life suits her just fine. She likes what she sees tonight as she reads between the lines. She looks down the road she has traveled. She considers the light she has drawn. The soul work is being surrendered. She is beautiful, wise and strong, 'cause lifelines and lifelines are wretched in her face, caught by the hands of time, fire and grace. The way she lived her life suits her just fine. She likes what she sees tonight as she reads between the lines. She likes what she sees tonight as she reads between the lines.
Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So welcome. Thank you, Summer, for joining me in the dance.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, read between the lines. I felt that. Oh, wow.
I'm in
Wow.
the studio recording that. It should be released within the next couple of weeks. I'll be.
Oh,
Yeah, so-
Ah,
wow.
blessings, blessings. Wow.
and I'm
yes.
sorry I don't get to these meetings very often because I'm just working 6 days a week right now. But I'm so
Well,
grateful.
you were meant to be here today, sister.
Thank you so much. I've
Wow.
got to run because I've got some students this afternoon, and so
Mwah.
happy
Thank
to
you.
be here.
Thank
So
you so
powerful.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
That
ladies.
was so incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Who knew where we were headed today, huh?
Wow.
Who
One
knew?
of the Forbes 50. The
That's
Forbes of her. There she is. There she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so.
We have not heard from Heather Elisabeth or Brenda or Tammy. And I'm not going to force because we don't do things that way, but I'm inviting. Or anyone else. Niobe, you got something else?
I just wanted to express my gratitude for the topic, what the energy, the spirit, and the soul of what our gathering is here today. Because Liz, you and I, we've had a conversation via instant messenger about women over 50.
Yep.
And Mira Michelle, hearing about, what your mother said about how you're just invisible when you become a crone, when you go past 50, when you're an older, amazing woman, and you disappear. And so Liz and I were talking about the percentage of women over 50 in poverty is astounding. And they are disenfranchised. They've come out of a marriage, etc., that with little to nothing. And and I've witnessed older women, in their 70s that were amazing women. And what I wanted to do is can't we just buy, the Wee Moon that does the Wee Moon calendars and all? They have Women's Land, and a friend and medical intuitive, Caroline Sutherland, for women to buy a plot of land and be able to have, and now it's like the tiny houses. Couldn't we just have these communities? I think it might be in England and Britain, where there was a group of women that bought an old office building and they turned it into a housing community, all for, for crone women. So this conversation today is something very dear to my heart. I'm just very appreciative of who you are, how you're standing in this, and the energy that you're bringing and the light to it. So I'm just very grateful for this conversation today. Don't know what answers can be, but but we are being a part of that energy of support, and that energy of being able to hold the hands together, be that circle of women, be that circle of maid, mother, and crone to lift up the grandmothers, to lift up the sage women, because I'm at that place. There's a lot to be said. They have so much to share and so much to give. So and we are all, like I said, maid, mother, and crone are a part of really holding the matrix of our planet and of our humanity, and the soul of the divine feminine masculine together. So thanks again, ladies. I'm just really always just so grateful and blown away and just fed every time I come to a SINE group. So thank you much.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. Agreed, Niobe. This is what we need. We need more of. Yeah. And please, I do see some are having to hop off. Please, no worries. Anytime. And thank you for sharing your presence with us. And then there were 9. Can I hear from our other sisters, or no? Nothing's coming through. Okay. Fear of missing out, Connie Baxter, Marlo, I think is that. I'm assuming, I didn't see what before that, but we've got messages going in the chat. But that's what FOMO is. Yes, Heather.
Yes. So I know you haven't heard my voice, but I'm sensing that you've been feeling, I have had such profound emotion within my being since Liz shared the offering from the grandmothers, that I got to be with the feeling and not rush to speak it, but be with it. And my heart is overflowing with love and respect and reverence for each of you who are in this circle. And that's not only who's in the Zoom room, everyone who's tuning in and tapping in to this sacred circle, whenever it is you tune in and tap into it, the deepest of reverence and honor for each and every one of us, and how we are showing up and we are shining. And I, like so many of us have shared, and I know I can personally speak to, that the journey of embodying our shine often comes from pain and from a forgetting of who we truly are in our divinity. And there's a reclamation that comes throughout the journey of being with the pain and being with the trauma, that we do remember who we really are and why we're here. And shine in itself is very near and dear to my heart, so much so that I was guided to co-create a movement called Shine. And I feel called to share a bit about that unfolding of that journey for me. And it definitely came from what I call a dark night of the soul. in that I was in a place in my life where I had truly lost sight of myself and was in a place of despair and almost hopelessness, yearning for hopefulness. And my willingness to go into that darkness and be with that and heal from that gave me the inspiration and the empowerment to embrace that I am here to shine and that we all are here to shine. And that's innately who we are. And that journey, that healing journey for me involved releasing a lot of conditioning about who I was taught I was supposed to be or who I was taught I was not supposed to be. And through that process, I let go of some ways that I had defined myself. And through that process, I fully embraced being a healer, being a high priestess, being a medicine woman, and being a beacon of light in the unique way that I'm called to be that beacon of light. And through that process and being with myself and being with fellow seekers, I was given a prayer that I began sharing, not only with myself, but with everyone that I was so and am so blessed to be in sacred space with. And I feel really guided to share that prayer in our circle if that feels resonant for everyone. So I'll invite you, if it feels good for you, to maybe place a hand or both hands on your heart space as a symbol of receiving and connecting with the beautiful heart that you are. And from my heart to yours, I share this prayer. As a divine child of God Goddess, you are loved unconditionally and accepted for exactly who you are. You are always guided and supported along your path, and you are always surrounded in and by love. And as you shine your beautiful light, you empower others to shine theirs. Aho. And that prayer, I feel, comes directly from Source, from the Divine Mother, and it is truth in every possible way. It is truth. And as we embrace and embody being these towers of light, it feels important to share that being a tower of light doesn't always look really pretty. That being a tower of light is being vulnerable and being transparent and being willing to share that maybe you have fears sometimes and you have challenges that you face, and that's normal and that's natural and that's part of this evolutionary journey. And I know every single one of us can speak to that in our own unique ways. And one more piece that feels really important about the tower, after our council meeting last week, I kept hearing the tower in its essence in the tarot. The tower is one of the major arcana. I know many of us are aware of that. And that tower medicine is also about destruction and a dismantling. So being a tower of light also involves being willing to face the darkness that is present and face that darkness with love and compassion and a willingness to stand in your truth and stand in the truth that as a human family, we are love and we are divine. And we are here to transmute all that no longer serves us as we transform ourselves and transform our beautiful planet. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for who you are. And thank you for this beautiful sacred circle. Aho.
Oh, and thank you, Heather, sister. And what is so clear is that we need each other to do this, that you're absolutely right. We are here to shine our light, to stand in our power, to stand as a tower. And it is challenging. And sometimes it's really, really challenging. But it is exactly this circle. It is exactly this that will allow us to do it. And so whatever divisions need to be healed within ourselves, whatever divisions need to be healed between women, it needs to happen, and it needs to happen now. And I believe it begins right here. Yeah. Katrin.
I just had this vision of a network, like a spider web of beacons of light. So there is not much space for darkness in between anymore. So let's do that.
Yeah, I think you are not alone in having visions of lights lighting up all over the planet. And those lights are us. Those lights are the awakening that's happening. Connie.
Well, we're speaking of beacons of light and towers of light. And for me, like you just went back to beacon of light. The tower of light, I wonder I don't know where that came forth from, but it reminds me of silos. You know, so I just wonder about that wording as far as the tower of light as opposed to the beacon of light.
So I can tell you exactly where it came from was when we were in council, and we were really just reflecting on what do we want to bring forth. And it was a vision of Mary Magdalene, and correct me if I'm wrong, sisters, standing very, very still, very solid, very grounded as a tower. And so that was where we decided we wanted to focus on how do we be that? How do we be that tower amidst the chaos and the overwhelm?
And she was a beacon. She shone her light out.
Absolutely.
So anyway.
Well, and I, of course, have very close ties to the pillars. And so I think of that as well. So I think, we won't get caught up in the verbiage. We'll instead focus on the deeper meaning, I think, but I'm open to other thoughts on that.
Summer just
Katrin.
asked us to mention that. And I'm just going to give a quick comment, and I'm going to segue out because I actually have my lovely Sacred Female Rising German Council of Women waiting for me.
Okay.
So I wanted to share what the weavers tell me. These are like the grandmother weavers. They're like a primordial force. And they're also a cosmic force, and they're ancient. And I started working with them like 4 years ago. One day I'll do a workshop with the weavers, but we will be weaving. So Liz is going to tell you more about that. It's really exciting. We're going to do our first like public weave. So that'll be exciting. And here they come. So Heather Elizabeth was like, say. What they say is weave the web, weave the web. Because we women have been weavers for thousands of years, thousands and thousands of years, consciously. And there's a method with it. And it's being, what can I say? It's coming back now. And I've been in training with them for a few years with this. So, and they say, they're very funny, and they speak very funny too. And they say, dark and light, light and dark. Weave the web, so all will see. Weave the web in you and me. and keep the balance, because they're both forces. And from a soul perspective, it's not a negative force, right? It's just the force that's allowing you to shine more light, right? And be not afraid of your demons, of your dark, and weave it into your tapestry. So I think it's time for us to work with both energies, that we become stronger. Not necessarily we're wielding dark. It's not about that. I mean, look at the dark matter that holds our whole universe together. We're still trying to figure out that one through science, right? It's a creative force. So that's what they wanted me to share. And I bow out so gracefully. Thank you all so much. And I hope to see you again. Much love. Thank you all, sisters.
And Mira Michelle is going to be, I just want to say before you leave, she is helping represent the North in the opening and closing ceremonies of what is happening this weekend with Heather, Elisabeth, myself, and a few others, representing the North as we come into this dreaming and being beloved community this weekend. There's many other parts, but I'll see you at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow in the Global Fire Zoom room.
That'll be powerful. And even if you are not able to attend in the Zoom room, if you think of us at this time and just focus your prayers towards this opening light in our humanity, that we embrace our consciousness and grow towards that light of consciousness, that would be so awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So,
bye,
my loves.
Well, so we've had a couple of, I think, just questions about the council, and then I can share about Sunday, and then maybe Summer, you can share a little bit more about the whole event. I think that would be great. And is there anything else before we kind of transition into that anyone feels they want to share, need to share? So the council was created, again, probably almost a year ago, maybe 8 months ago. And it was through a vision that I had of bringing more healing, particularly to women and girls around the world, because I am always surrounded by amazing women doing healing work. And my thought was, how do we get this out wider, because it's so needed? And so that was really, and so I just started kind of planting a seed here and there, and mentioning it to women who I was in contact with here and there, and everyone was just that I would love to join and be part of that. And so we started gathering, and so Katrin and Heather Elisabeth and Brenda, Astrid and Tammy, who are still here, as well as myself, Mira Michelle. Did anybody else drop off that I'm missing? And then there have been others that have come and then gone, not stayed. But we've also kind of transitioned from this idea of bringing healing and healers' work to rebalancing the feminine and masculine energies on the planet, and then to asking bigger questions. And then that's how, when we were gathered together last week, and what we would like to share this week with you all, we had come up with this concept of the tower, or the beacon of light. And so that's who the council is. We are very much allowing the unfolding. We don't have a set plan. This is very much a feminine approach to what wants to emerge, what wants to be birthed. So that is the process that we are undertaking. And so our next step is on Sunday, as part of this larger event that I'll let Summer share about. But we will be part of this. We were one of the synergy teams that's represented, called the Divine Feminine Rising Synergy Team, and we'll be gathering on Sunday. We are 1 to 5 Central Time. It's a 4-hour gathering where we are harvesting, essentially. We are asking questions, and we are going to be focused on divine feminine leadership. What needs to happen for women to rise in their divine feminine leadership. What pathway do we need? What support do we need? How do we up-level our leadership? Those are the types of questions that we'll be exploring through this process. So all are welcome. All are welcome. And so I'm going to just transition, let Summer explain the whole weekend event and how you can find us if you want to join us just on Sunday, or if you want to join some of the other occurrences that are happening. So please, Summer.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful that this happened before the weekend, because, you know, for me, as I've been a part of the sort of patterning and the planning of this patterning of convergence and multi-Zoom gatherings and these sacred ceremonies, really, of synergy that has been happening since World Unity Week last June 2020. There's been this patterning that the SINE network is gathering. So this is kind of a great harvest of all, and a pause yet an open space to really like go, okay, so what is working? One of the things that we're highlighting is the great work of this council, and the women weaving has been a very significant part, which I want to acknowledge. Elisabeth Williams and Mira Michelle have held space for the divine feminine and sacred masculine room that has been a part of many of these convergences over this past year. So it's really going to be an opportunity to acknowledge and shine these beacons and of light on you all. And part of the patterning of this weekend is what we call open space. So there's going to be 4 sessions that are kind of gathered by this opening ceremony and closing ceremony. But there are 4 sessions of open space, and each session is 4 hours long. And there is, within it, there's going to be moments of integration and space with poetry and music and dance to kind of like be present with what is emerging. Open space is a very powerful space to see what is emerging and how to kind of cultivate the like next evolution of what's happening amongst all of you with the council, and then in synergy. So it's going to be a great way to kind of harness what's next. And so the session, I just want to welcome you all to, of course, what Liz is up to in the 3rd session on Sunday. But I put in the chat the website, which really is like the main place for all of it. And that is globalfire.earth. So there's a place, if you sign up to participate, you're going to get all the information of all the parts. So I'm not going to go into all the details of that, but you can really get a sense of the context of what this is really harnessing. And it's really about service. It's about serving what you all are doing, and people coming together to want to serve these towers of light, towers of synergy light that are working. And there are 12 of those. I as well am representing one around bridging the divide. Heather is on that synergy team. There's a lot of multifaceted relations here. But yeah, you are welcome to join. It's all in one Zoom room. We're all going to be together in one Zoom room. So you're welcome to come and participate. Yeah, Heather.
It feels really important to reflect also that all of this is happening during the full moon time, during the Virgo full moon. So we know there are no accidents, and that is in divine order with the medicine, the powerful medicine of Grandmother Moon, and the weaving that she brings in, the dreaming space. And I love that the whole weekend is really embracing that medicine of dreaming together and the weaving. And I got the pleasure of getting to be part of the planning meeting earlier today, and oh my gosh, the energy is so beautiful, and we're adding to it with our time together today. It is magnificent. It's profound. So I just echo what Liz and Summer Joy are inviting everyone to be a part of this, however you feel called to, because it's never been done before, and the time is now for all of us. Powerful beacons, towers, shining lights to come together and truly change the world. It's happening, and it's so beautiful. It's such a blessing to be a part of.
And you know what? Thank you for bringing up the moon too, because part of the essence is held in a sacred fire that actually is coming from Collectivo Awana, which is a community in the heart of the Amazon. And they are actually invited, and there is, a financial support that is going to be feeding them, empowering them. And the way that their community is spoke of, I would say, in this sort of colonized perspective, is that they are extinct. Mm. So in the transformation and the holding of the container of what is happening this weekend is also empowering the heart of the mother in the Amazon. So this community of 500 is saying, you know what, we're not extinct. Mm-hmm. And in the full moon, the night of the full moon in Eastern Standard Time, there is going to be a dreaming ceremony with this Collectivo Awana that's going to help us inform our dreaming. So there is really like a powerful spirit weaving, as well as like the yang of like being in a Zoom room and all of that, but then this yin of the dreaming spaces and their medicine of informing that, as well as we're kind of coming into the weekend and then coming to a close on Monday, March 1st. At 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the closing ceremony. So I just wanted to also bring that in, that there is just, it's very, this essence that's here in this space and such emergent flow is also part of the patterning and wish of this weekend. So.
And so again, globalfire.earth is where folks can find all of the information.
Yes, so you can sign up to participate, and that kind of gets you in alignment to all the information you need to know. Yes.
Are we complete? Yeah, I think so.
I just want to say, Tammy, we have not heard from you. I don't mean to nudge but
I'm just having a quiet day.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's what you were wanting. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because all voices are
and
honored
Brenda
here.
As well. Brenda, they usually speak when they want to. They're both in council with us, and so. But Brenda, do you want to say anything before we sign off?
I've just been listening. I've been listening quite intently, and I think if I was to say in response to your opening, what was really resonant for me was the acts of kindness that were mentioned within the grandmother addressing that you gave. And I think, as women, we're all carers, and we're doing acts of kindness every day within our caring. So and we're the unpaid carers quite often, and so I suppose that's my contribution to, or what resonated for me with your opening statement. But I see, as I said before, I see myself as the resident artist here.
The creator of our logo.
And so yeah, I as an artist, I do like to sit and observe and to listen and to, you know, to basically, it's not that I'm not participating, it's just that I, you know, I feel that my place at the moment is to listen to what you're saying so that I do the right thing when you've asked me to do your logo, for example. You know, but yeah, and it's really very interesting, and yeah, yeah, we're all on a journey.
Yes.
Just some people are on different ways.
That's right. Absolutely.
And different stages or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so I think what has resonated with me is the kindness. You know, a lot of my work has been so far to do with the older woman, and yeah, the fact that younger women are very much idolized, and oh, there's a stereotypical way of looking at women, and I have been working with my mother, and so my mother is part of my lineage of grandmothers and mothers and that kind of thing. So for me, working with my mom was a privilege, and to film her and to work with her was an unbelievable experience. And what I'm working with at the moment within my work is studying what contract we make with our parents or with the people who have left us. And that contract is has come about as a development, I suppose, from her passing, and the contract that we had between each other when she was alive about me carrying on with the filming and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's about it, really.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I do want to just acknowledge their talent. And as I said, she has been creating for us a logo for the council. And Tammy, I also want to point out, Tammy is our resident marketer. She runs a marketing firm, and she has set us up with a website and that type of thing. So it's beautiful to see everyone bringing their gifts and sharing. We need all of it and all of you. So so certainly, as after Sunday, you know, we will talk about where do we go from here, and if this is of interest and you want to continue to be in circle in some way, we'll find a way. So with that, I just want to express my gratitude and the honor and blessing it is always to be with you, Summer Joy, here in this room that we've created together, and the council and all of you are amazing. You are my sisterhood, and you keep me going and inspire me always, brings tears to my eyes, and I just so much gratitude. So thank you.
Thank you, all of you. And you know, when something that speaks to me right now too, and is how can we serve this council? And hopefully we'll discover that on Sunday. And Connie did ask, is there a name for the council?
At this point, we've been calling it Divine Feminine Rising, but
okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Everything.
Well, all right. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. That's really all I really have left to communicate. And we'll see you all on
Sunday, we hope.
Tomorrow or Saturday and Sunday. There's ways to weave outside of your session too. We need to weave the synergy in all of the sessions. You know, in the representation of what I'm doing in the 4th session, I want to weave bridging the divide and all and synergy in all the ways that we show up. So you really are needed in all of it and any of it that you're called to. So I'm going to stop the live. Thank you. Blessings.